We just finished reading the book of Exodus. The Israelites have built the Mishkan, the tabernacle where God can reside among them. This Shabbat we begin reading Vayikra, the book of Leviticus. And in this very first Parsha of Leviticus, the Israelites are given detailed instructions about the various types of sacrificial offerings that they are to make to God. So what's the connection? According to Rabbi Shefa Gold, in her book Torah Journeys, the opening parsha of Leviticus teaches us how to sustain this holy state, this connection to the divine. It's not enough merely to build a holy state within us and a space where we can connect with God, but we have to constantly nurture and cultivate this connection. For our ancestors, for the ancient Israelites, the sacrificial system was a way to cultivate that relationship. The Hebrew word for sacrifice is korban, and it comes from the root kuf resh bet, which in Hebrew means to draw close or to come near. So inherent in the sacrificial system was a system whereby the Israelites could be close to God, could feel a close relationship with God. Today, how do we cultivate our relationships? How do we draw close to God, to those that we love, to those around us whom we may be separated from at this time? Unfortunately, during this crisis, we are physically separated from many of the people that we love, and we miss seeing them in person. But Vayikra teaches us that even when there are physical barriers, there is a way to draw spiritually close to those that we love. Now that we have enforced physical separation, we can focus on any spiritual barriers that are keeping us from being as close as possible to the people that we love. So let's take a moment to think about what these spiritual barriers might be. Vayikra teaches us that closeness often does require sacrifice, whether it's sacrificing the ego, sacrificing our own immediate interests in order to care for others or to think about what the needs of others may be. And we know there are so many people making great sacrifices at this time. So this Shabbat, let's focus on the ways that we can remain spiritually connected to the people in our lives. Perhaps it's reaching out and making phone calls more often than we normally would. Perhaps it's staying connected on Zoom. Perhaps it's reducing the ego or taking time to be empathetic and compassionate and really listening to the other, whether it's the other in our household, whether it's the other that we're speaking to on a virtual call. Whatever it may be this Shabbat, I wish you a Shabbat of spiritual closeness, emotional closeness to all those that you love. And speaking of spiritual closeness, we're so excited to announce a very special program this Shabbat. On Friday night, please join us tonight, Kabbalat Shabbat, at 6 p.m., a musical Kabbalat Shabbat on Zoom with Rabbi Cameras, Cantor Snow, and myself. We'll be on Zoom, and you could tune in on STS Live or on Facebook Live. At 6:45 then, you can sign into Zoom, and we're going to have a community candlelighting. So please join us. Stay tuned for details about that. But 6 p.m., you'll watch the Kabbalat Shabbat service, and then 6:45 p.m., you'll tune in to Zoom, and you'll actually light candles with all of us. We'd love to have you join. Then Shabbat morning, Saturday morning at 10 a.m., for the first time ever, we are having Shabbat morning services online with Cantor Snow and myself, a musical abbreviated service from 10 a.m. to approximately 11:30 a.m. We'll have an abbreviated Torah reading from the Chumash, some Torah study, and some music to celebrate Shabbat together. Saturday night Havdalah at 8 p.m. We're so excited to announce that Rabbi Josh Orshowski will be joining us, not only for Havdalah, but for Malava Malka, escorting of the Shabbat Bride, which will be a live concert of Josh's music after Havdalah. So that's at 8 p.m. with Rabbi Cameras, Cantor Snow, myself, and Rabbi Josh. And then approximately 8:15 p.m. will be Rabbi Josh in a live concert of his beautiful music. We can't wait to see you. Shabbat Shalom.